Okay, this is the assignment for Chapter 7, a video regarding due regard. So, due regard can be defined as driving in a manner to avoid any predictable collision. This can go for any driver on the road as it pertains to the ambulance services and the emergency service. State vehicle statutes provide special privileges to an operator of an emergency vehicle. However, this does not relieve the operator from the duty and responsibility to drive with due regard for the safety of others. A driver can be cited or held personally liable for damages if he or she exercises the privilege without justifiable cause or in an imprudent manner. All emergency vehicle operators should be familiar with the MGL Chapter 89, Section 7B, Operation of Emergency Vehicles. The emergency vehicle driver must provide adequate warning to others by using the warning devices and by controlling their speed to allow other motorists time to react to their warnings. Emergency vehicles are equipped with lights and sirens to alert non-emergency drivers on the road that there is an emergency vehicle responding to an emergency and that they need to yield the right of way so that that emergency can be attended to in a timely manner. It also allows the operator of an emergency vehicle to disregard traffic laws as long as they are doing so in a manner that follows the due regard and they remain vigilant toward the safety of others on the road. All vehicles must yield the right of way to an ambulance that displays lights and sirens. The only exception is you should not stop in the middle of an intersection if you are starting to enter one and to allow the emergency vehicle to pass. Just slow down and exit the intersection, then pull over to the right as soon as it is safe to do so, and remain stopped until the emergency vehicle has passed. In the case of City of La Vista versus Anderson, on April 29th, 1987, at approximately 11:30 a.m., Amwig, a member of the La Vista Volunteer Fire Department, received an emergency call to assist a juvenile having trouble breathing. The call was described as a Code 3, which indicates a situation involving a person with a life-threatening problem. In response, Amwig drove a city ambulance to pick up the victim. In accordance with the department procedures, he activated the lights and sirens. After he had picked up the patient, he drove south on 84th Street with his lights and sirens activated. At that point, where it intersects with Highway 370, there are 3 lanes of southbound traffic: a left lane, a through lane, and a right lane. As he approached the intersection, there were cars in the left turn and through lanes obstructing his path. It looks like a white van in the right turn lane pulled over to the shoulder to allow him to drive the ambulance into that lane. Anderson was traveling eastbound in a dump truck on Highway 370. It was a Mack dump truck with a pup trailer. The rig weighed approximately 95,000 pounds. There's evidence that the speed limit on the highway 370 at 84th Street is 55 miles per hour. Anderson testified that he slowed down for a red light, approached the intersection, but the light had turned green when he was about 200 to 250 feet from the crossing. He stated that he accelerated to 35 to 40 miles per hour, though there's evidence suggesting he was going almost 50 miles an hour. It was hot and sunny. He had his windows rolled up, the air conditioner on, and he was listening to 3 separate radios: a AM/FM radio, a CB radio, and a company radio. He accelerated the truck, and he could hear the exhaust pipes, which made a lot of noise. He testified that he looked to the north as light turned green because he was concentrating on another car in the turn lane. He did not see the ambulance coming until the collision. There were witnesses that said that they saw the ambulance's lights or heard the sirens as it approaches. There were some significant testimonies in this case. At the time of the incident, Claire Morgan was stopped for the red light, governing the through lane going south on 84th Street. He testified that the ambulance pulled alongside his car before proceeding through the intersection. He testified that he could see a quarter mile west on Highway 370 and that he saw the truck approaching a couple hundred feet from the intersection as the ambulance pulled alongside him. He stated that the ambulance slowed down and then pulled up and almost stopped, then stomped on the foot feed and just shot out there just in front of the truck that was coming with the exhaust. He stated that he knew he was going to hit, and he couldn't believe it. Another witness testified that from the south side of the intersection of 85th Street and Highway 370, she saw the truck approaching and was surprised that the ambulance tried to cross in front of it. The record revealed that this stretch of Highway 370, as it approaches 84th Street from the west, is relatively level. There's photographic evidence suggesting that a tree located on the corner of 84th Street and Highway 370 may have obstructed the dump truck driver's view or the ambulance driver's view. And Anderson testified that he did not see the tree. So, and when it pertains to this case, the ambulance driver was found to be liable for this accident. He did not yield the right-of-way correctly because of not only the size of the dump truck, but also the fact that it would not have been able to stop in time to see him. The city, it was tried without a jury in the Sarpy County District Court. The trial court found that Amweg violated his duty of care by failing to maintain a proper lookout and failing to observe the traffic signal as he approached the intersection. The court offered no finding as to Anderson's violation of any duty of care. So the court entered the judgment against the city of La Vista on its petition and in favor of Armstrong, who was the driver of the dump truck, awarded the company $9,113.57 for damages to the truck and another $1,250 for lost profits due to the lack of loss of the truck. And there are some other cases in here that it pertain to. The city did try to provide a counterclaim and appeal the order, but it was still found that the ambulance driver was in fact in the wrong, and the city did end up paying for his negligence in regards to causing the accident. So there is the video for assignment in chapter 7. I will post my links. See you Tuesday.